Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
It's colder this morning. We have a frost advisory. And in fact, for a good chunk of our viewing area, we're seeing temperatures dipping into the 30s in our northern counties. I'll show you who's most likely to have frosty conditions.
Flight cuts on the way. We're giving you a live look at RDU this morning as airports across the country are seeing a reduction in the number of planes that are taking off. How this could affect travel plans for millions of people.
And teacher call-outs. Schools in Wake County are preparing for higher than normal teacher absences today. The protests from educators over teacher pay across the state. Good morning, everyone. It is 6 o'clock. We're happy you're starting your Friday with us. We made it to the end of the week. I'm Renee Chu.
Yeah, I'm Chris Levingood. Plenty of things to do this weekend. We'll run through that a little bit later in our Out and About segment. But first, we got to talk about that frost advisory that's in place there, Elizabeth.
We do. We've had a number of frost advisories so far this fall, but we haven't seen a lot of widespread frost just yet. It's almost a guarantee by Tuesday morning. We see a huge Arctic front that comes through, and we'll talk more about that coming up. But this morning, it's going to be patchy. We're not likely to see it around the triangle, but some of our northern or northeastern or even some Sandhills counties could see some freezing temperature or at least some patchy frost. This is a look at downtown Raleigh from our Jimmy V camera. 46 degrees right now, but our wind is coming out of the south-southeast, which means a nice mild afternoon for us. It's 39 in Rocky Mount, 39 in Roxborough, 42 Southern Pines, 46 in Clinton. So definitely colder than this time yesterday, but a nice mild afternoon with our temperatures in the mid-70s. And then we start our rounds of rain. Round one comes in overnight tonight and could linger into your very early morning plans on Saturday. I'll walk you through our chances for rain through the weekend. Coming up, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, let's get your window on your morning commute. Taking a look at I-40 and Wade Avenue, the westbound lanes coming toward us. Really light traffic to report, flowing nicely in all directions. And checking that northern loop of that I-540 area, nothing but delay-free from Lewisburg Road all the way over to I-40 this morning. As for other routes coming into Raleigh and Wake County, delay-free right now. US 1, I-87 coming in from Knightdale. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Ken, thank you. Today at noon, the Senate will reconvene to vote on a deal that could lead to an end to the government shutdown. Right now, the shutdown is causing delays and cancellations at airports nationwide, including RDU. That's where WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live inside this morning. Kelsey, the FAA's decision to cut flights nationwide is having a ripple effect.
Yes, Renee, it certainly is. So far this morning, 2 delays and 8 cancellations here at RDU. You can see that the TSA security line here looks a lot different than what it did about 30 minutes ago. So folks are starting to move through pretty easily, but it's normal for us to see between 5 and 6 o'clock to have a lot of people in that TSA line. The FAA is reducing flights by 10% at 40 airports nationwide. RDU is not one of those airports, but we are seeing some of those ripple effects here today. We just mentioned some of the delays and cancellations. RDU has 33 direct flights to airports that are on the FAA's list. We spoke with a man whose son is flying from RDU to Fort Lauderdale. Then he's taking a flight to San Diego.
Well, that was our concern even today, was knowing that it should be about 2 hours to think about going through TSA and being ready to board, and what the impact of how much earlier we needed to be here because of possible delays here and around the country.
So if you're flying out today, be sure to check your airline's app just to stay up to date if there's any changes with your flight. We'll be sure to stay on top of any cancellations and delays here at RDU. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live at RDU.
And here in the WRAL Live Center, we are keeping an eye on delays and cancellations nationwide as well. Right now, according to FlightAware, there are 536 delays, 817 cancellations nationwide. I've been watching that number, refreshing the page, and it has grown since I last saw you about an hour ago. Also, looking at Charlotte Douglas, look at this, 41 cancellations right now and 5 delays. So this is just something to keep in mind if you do have a flight. Be sure to check it before you head out the door today.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. School leaders in Wake County are preparing for staffing shortages today, and this is because of a rumored widespread teacher call-out. Allie Calabar is live at East Wake High School this morning. Allie, schools have already been in contact with parents and students about this.
In East
Wake High School is one of those schools that sent out an email to parents, and we could see less cars filing into the staff parking lot here as that email warned of a possible increase in staffing absences. Take a look at these emails from 2 Wake County schools. The schools sent them to parents last night. They warn about increased staff absences today and Monday. It says, quote, "This is due to some staff participating in a walkout on these dates to take a stand on broader issues affecting public education." This is all stemming from an anonymous graphic. It's been circulating social media. It urges teachers across North Carolina to call out today and Monday. This is an effort to protest budget issues and increased health care costs. We spoke with a Wake County teacher, Jenny Lee Lloyd. She says she supports this in general, but it is not time to act.
My recommendation is to wait, to use that momentum, continue to have these conversations that are happening in schools, because the conversations are happening.
And Wake County schools told WRAL last night that they haven't seen an unusual uptick in the number of teachers that called out sick for today, but we are staying on top of this. We're reaching out to schools. Reporting live in Wake County, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
Earlier this morning, Raleigh police arrested a person they say crashed this box truck into a house and ran off. Video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker shows the damage at the home on Raleigh Pines Drive. This is just off Garner Road. A neighbor told WRAL their cars and home were also damaged by the truck. Police say they found the driver just before 2:30 this morning. He is facing charges including DWI and leaving the scene of a crash.
According to a new ruling from a federal judge, SNAP benefits for this month must be paid in full. Last week, North Carolina Attorney General Jeff Jackson joined other attorneys general to get emergency funding released for the program. Well, today is the deadline for the Trump administration to make the payments, but it's unclear how long it will take for that money to get to the millions of people who need it. However, a few people have already written to WRAL saying they're starting to receive their partial benefits. Durham County Social Services says that money should hit accounts by today.
Governor Josh Stein is calling lawmakers back to Raleigh in 2 weeks to work on Medicaid funding. The governor says this rare move to call for a special session is necessary. The current budget falls short in covering Medicaid this year. That's in part because of rising health care costs. Both chambers are more or less aligned on Medicaid funding, but unrelated political fights meant nothing was approved.
Hey, just a heads up, your next visit to the DMV, well, it may come with a shorter wait time. The DMV Commissioner, Paul Tyne, he says the average wait has gone down. It was 2 hours this summer, but now it's 1 hour and 19 minutes. The DMV now has social media and AI chatbots to help reach more people. It's also expanding in some of the state's fastest growing communities, including Fuquay-Varina and Wake County. You can find our extensive DMV coverage online at WRAL.com.
A Knightdale woman is in jail after Raleigh police say she stole more than $50,000 worth of jewelry, most of it from retirement homes. Arrest warrants accuse Aminata Diane of breaking into several homes at the Cardinal at North Hills. People who live nearby tell WRAL the situation is disturbing.
That's awful. I mean, to just think the vulnerability that they're already in, and then on top of now their stuff is taken away, that's awful.
WRAL reached out to management at the Cardinal to learn whether Diane was an employee. In a statement, they said they are aware of the arrest and that they're cooperating with authorities. She is due back in court later this month.
We have an update in that case involving a Johnston County man who confessed to killing 4 of his children. WRAL obtained a copy of the autopsy report of the mother of those children, Stephanie Jones. She died in April of 2024. Well, the sheriff's office previously told us she was 3 months pregnant and died from pregnancy complications. The medical examiner's report says she didn't believe in doctors and therefore didn't receive prenatal care. The report says her husband, Wellington Dickens, performed CPR after she collapsed in their bedroom, and several hours later, Dickens allowed the children to see their mother before calling 911. It was determined she died of natural causes.
The Wake County Sheriff's Office has identified the victim in a nearly 60-year-old cold case. Investigators announced Myrtle Holcomb was the victim in a case from 1968. Her body was found burned in a field near 1010 Road and Lake Wheeler Road. The Sheriff's Office says the breakthrough was thanks to advancements in forensic testing. Authorities had identified a suspect in the early 2000s, and that person died before charges were ever filed.
Today, the town of Mooresville is honoring the men and women who served our country. The town is hosting a special Veterans Day breakfast this morning. It'll be at the Cedar Fork Community Center from 8 to 9:30. It's free to attend, but registration is required. You can find a link to register on the Mooresville Parks and Rec website.
NC State's football team is off this weekend, but two other local ACC teams are in action. UNC will host Stanford. The Tar Heels are looking to build momentum after a win against Syracuse last week. Kickoff at Kenan Stadium is scheduled for 4:30. Duke is heading north to take on UConn tomorrow. The Blue Devils will kick things off against the Huskies at 3:30.
And then the Duke men's basketball team is hosting its first home game this weekend. The Blue Devils will host Western Carolina. That is at 1:30 tomorrow afternoon. Duke is coming off a victory against Texas to start the new season.
It is 6:10 now. Park improvements. City leaders are moving forward with new plans for the Durham Athletic Park, the goal behind the multi-million-dollar project.
Now let's go and give you a live look at Fenton and Cary this morning. That's where the Skate the Square is starting today. What you need to know before you grab your skates and hit the ice. Elizabeth?
And it's a chilly start this morning. It's 39 in Rocky Mount, but elsewhere temperatures are in the low to mid 40s. We have a complicated forecast for your weekend. 3 chances for rain and then the coldest temperatures of the season coming our way. I'll show you all of it coming up.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
6:13. It's a pretty start to the day. Already starting to see the sun lighting up the horizon in many places. It's a chilly 39 in Wilson, but most of our towns are looking at temperatures in the low to mid 40s right now. Durham at 46, 42 degrees currently in Fayetteville. We do have a frost advisory, and there may be some spots, especially rural and low-lying areas, where you see a little patchy frost this morning. Temperatures are going to be on the cool side, at least to start with. Again, 40 degrees at around 7 a.m. But by 11, we're looking at 61. We should see a high around 70 this afternoon. So good looking day for it today. Perfect for Football Friday. This time of year, you never know. But game time temperatures are likely to be in the mid 60s and then in the 60s all the way through the end of the game. So sweatshirt should do just fine. Also beautiful for the UNC game. Stanford plays there Saturday at 4:30. Temperatures will be in the mid 70s at game time and then dropping into the 60s by around 8 p.m. We are looking at multiple chances for rain over the weekend. I'll walk you through that coming up. Ken?
Elizabeth, happening now. Right now, traffic is beginning to pick up just a little bit. As you can see from I-40 and Airport Boulevard, those eastbound lanes heading away from us into Raleigh this morning. And that's really indicative of what we're seeing on all of our major routes. For our weekend travelers, you just saw Kelsey Coffey showing us the TSA line moving rather nicely. We've checked all the routes heading into RD International this morning, relatively delay-free at this hour. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Ken, thank you. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has confirmed another deadly military strike in the Caribbean. Hegseth says yesterday's strike targeted a boat in international waters that was suspected of being involved in drug trafficking. 3 people were killed. Since September, the U.S. military has carried out 17 strikes. 70 people have been killed. 18 boats have been destroyed. The Trump administration says this is all part of a campaign targeting drug traffickers. But members of Congress and human rights groups have been critical of the strikes.
Meanwhile, Renee, the U.S. Senate rejected a measure to require the White House get lawmakers' approval before taking military action against Venezuela. And this bill, it was in direct response to those recent strikes on suspected drug boats. Republicans Lisa Murkowski and Rand Paul joined Democrats in supporting the legislation, but it ultimately failed 49-51.
And staying with Capitol Hill, the Congressional Budget Office has been hacked. That's according to an email from the Senate Sergeant at Arms that was sent out to congressional staff. The email did not say who was responsible, but an official briefed on the hack says China is believed to be the culprit. The email also says the hacking incident is still ongoing. A spokesperson for the agency says steps are being taken to contain the breach.
The city of Durham is moving forward with plans to preserve and restore Durham Athletic Park. So last night, city council members heard a presentation on 3 different scenarios, but they went with the first option called preservation restoration. Basically, this scenario would keep the historic features of the DAP intact. It's estimated to cost between $48 and $68 million.
Baseball fans are being given the chance to name the new Coastal Plain League team that will call Five County Stadium home. Players and coaches from Australia will travel to Zebulon each summer to sharpen their skills. The winning name, team colors, logo, and branding will all be revealed at a later date. WRAL's parent company, Capital Broadcasting Company, will redevelop and manage the stadium.
All right, skating, comic books, and barbecue on the agenda for this weekend.
Something for everyone. It is time to take a look at WRAL's Out and About Best Bets.
So happening today, a new season of Fenton's Skate the Square gets started. This festive pop-up rink welcomes skaters of all ages every day. There are both general admission tickets and season passes available for purchase, plus special discounts, including the Monday Cheapskate. Then on Tuesdays, veterans, military, and emergency workers, they can enjoy discounted skating with a valid ID. The skating season lasts until February.
The NC Comic-Con gets started tomorrow at the Durham Convention Center. A great opportunity for people across the Triangle to celebrate comics, movies, and art. That event runs through Sunday. Tickets are available online. Fuquay Marina is a good place to find some good food and music tomorrow. The Downtown Association is hosting barbecue, blues, and brews. There will be samples from competing cook teams, locally brewed beer, and live music. And that will all be at the Downtown District from noon until 4. For more weekend best bets, go to WRAL.com and search Out and About.
And to find out if the weather situation will hold up for any of your best bets, we go now to Elizabeth Gardner.
Most likely. Now, we do have 3 chances of rain, which seems like a lot, but most of those will be at night, except for Sunday. And I love this here. I love this camera here at Fenton and Cary. You can see they put up their Christmas tree yesterday. They light it on the 22nd. So it'll be another week or 2 before they light the tree, but just gorgeous there. And of course, skating starts today. So that's pretty cool stuff. It's chilly this morning for sure, but then we're looking at a mild afternoon and a fairly mild weekend before we get a real winter blast early next week. Some scattered lows in the 30s. Most of it has been up near the Virginia line, but we're starting to see temperatures warming up there right now. 41 in Roxborough, 43 South Hill, but 39 in Rocky Mount and Goldsboro. We're fairly far away from freezing in most of the towns, but again, some of the rural or low-lying areas could see some patchy frost. All right, here's a little bit about our weekend forecast. So this is going to be the front that comes through tonight and brings rain into early Saturday. Then there'll be another quick shot of rain Saturday night, and then the big front comes in Sunday afternoon and evening. We take a look at Futurecast, kicking things off today with partly cloudy skies, and then the rain starts to push in very early tomorrow morning between 3 and 6 a.m. So if you're one of those people who gets out early for a run or exercise on Saturday morning, it is likely to be wet until around 8 o'clock or so, and then it moves out, and then we'll see partly cloudy skies, gorgeous day on Saturday. Then a small chance for rain around midnight on Saturday night through around 4 a.m. on Sunday, but then the big event, even though it doesn't look like it here, is likely to be Sunday. So I like what the model says all the way up until Sunday evening, but I think we'll have a better chance for rain than what we're seeing here. As a matter of fact, we have a level 1 risk for severe storms Sunday afternoon and evening, especially in our eastern counties. Rain chances, again, it's going to be Friday night, Saturday night, and then Sunday afternoon and evening, especially in our eastern counties. Likely to see as much as a 1/4 inch of rain out of this. And then, of course, we see some very cold temperatures behind it. We'll drop to highs in the low 50s on Monday and Tuesday, and our first hard freeze for Tuesday morning. Ken?
Well, Elizabeth, happening now, if you're getting ready to head out the door, I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road, this is really indicative of what we're seeing in all of our major routes. These are the westbound lanes coming toward us this morning. Traffic beginning to pick up just a little bit on that southern loop of the Beltline, but no delays. If you're coming in from Garner, Johnston County, no delays as well between Highway 36 and the Beltline as well. As for other major routes heading into Raleigh, boy, this is great. 1 minute coming in from Wake Forest, US 1, that's not a problem whatsoever. And similarly, we're not seeing any delays on any of the other major routes like I-87. You're getting ready to head into the car, though. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Mental health resources. Work is getting started on a new hospital in Wake County. Why the governor says this will be a critical tool for the Triangle.
Plus, price cuts. The Trump administration is making weight loss drugs more affordable. Why doctors say this is a step in the right direction.
If you see breaking news, have a story tip, or take video or pictures of the weather where you are, please report it to us. Go to WRAL.com/report it to send your video, pictures, or tip to our news team.
Construction started on a new WakeMed mental health campus in Garner, and this right here, this is a sneak peek of what it could look like. Local leaders joined WakeMed leadership to break ground on the new campus. It's across from White Oak Crossing, and Governor Josh Stein says this will be an important resource for people in the area.
This is going to serve everybody, whether you're an adult, whether you're old, whether you're young. If you need health care, you're going to be able to come here and get the care that you need. And what's great is you may have both a physical problem and a mental health problem. You don't have to go to two different places. You walk in a single door and you can get treated here.
The land will become home to a 150-bed mental health hospital and 45-bed acute care hospital. Construction is set to be done by summer 2028.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
The life of pop legend Michael Jackson and the return of the Gremlins.
Don't feed your Maguire after midnight. Ken Smith here now with What's Trending.
So listen, let's start with the king of pop, right? The official trailer for the new Michael Jackson biopic is out. The film is called Michael and will explore Jackson's rise to fame. The king of pop's real-life nephew, Jafar, will be playing him in the movie.
Goodness gracious.
They didn't ask you to star in this biopic.
As long as you can go, pew, you're fine.
Exactly. So how about this? Those pesky gremlins are returning. Warner Brothers announcing a third installment to the hit 80s franchise. The original writer, Chris Columbus, will actually be back directing that movie.
No word yet on a cast or plot, but it is scheduled to be released in November of 2027. Hollywood just keeps taking from the 80s and, to revive or reboot series, right?
It's a little lazy, but I mean, it's their property. Do what you want with it.
A new generation will discover the gremlins.
Yeah, that's true. Also true. Thanks, Ken.
Airport troubles. We'll give you a live look at RDU this morning as a reduction in flights are affecting travelers across the country. How this issue could have a ripple effect in our area.
And calling out, schools in our area are preparing for teacher shortages today. The demands for change that are driving this reported protest.
And speaking of school, headed to school this morning, temperatures are mostly in the low to mid 40s, so kids may not need their heaviest coat, but definitely some sort of jacket. And then it's going to feel great after school with sunshine, a high of 70 degrees. I'll get into your weekend forecast, which has 3 chances for rain coming up.
Here's a look at the winning lottery numbers.